Hello friends, I'm so glad you're here. Today we're talking about something that affects so many women over 50, hair thinning, hair breakage, and yes, hair loss. If you've noticed your hair is becoming thinner, weaker, or just not the vibrant you remember, you're not alone, and more importantly, you deserve real answers. Now you may think you're doing everything right, eating well, taking supplements, and yes, using hair oils. But what if I told you that some hair oils you're using could actually be making things worse? That's right, what seems natural and healthy could be silently sabotaging your hair. So today we're uncovering the 5 hair oils that secretly worsen hair loss in women 50 plus, and I'll tell you why, what to use instead, and how to protect your precious hair. Many women truly believe that if something is natural, it must be good for them. And most of the time that sounds reasonable. After all, we're told again and again to avoid chemicals, avoid medications when possible, and turn toward natural remedies. But here's the hard truth. Natural does not automatically mean safe, and it certainly does not mean effective for everyone, especially when we're talking about the aging scalp. This is where so many women over 50 unknowingly go wrong with hair oils. Hair oils are often marketed as miracle solutions. They promise thicker hair, faster growth, and a healthier scalp. The labels look clean, the ingredients sound wholesome, and the advice is often passed down through generations. But what most women don't realize is that as we age, our scalp biology changes dramatically. The hair follicles become smaller, circulation slows, oil production decreases, and the scalp becomes far more sensitive to irritation and blockage. What once worked in your 30s or 40s can now quietly work against you. One of the biggest issues with many popular hair oils is their weight and thickness. Heavy oils sit on the scalp instead of absorbing into it. When oil stays on the surface, it mixes with dead skin cells, sweat, styling products, and environmental toxins. Over time, this creates buildup, and buildup is not harmless. It forms a barrier around the hair follicle, limiting oxygen flow and blocking nutrients that are absolutely essential for healthy hair growth. A follicle that can't breathe or receive nourishment will slowly weaken, and when that happens, shedding increases and regrowth slows. Another hidden danger is inflammation. Many women don't feel pain or itching right away, so they assume everything is fine. But inflammation doesn't always announce itself loudly. Chronic, low-grade inflammation of the scalp can exist quietly for months or even years. Certain oils, especially when overused or applied directly to sensitive skin, can trigger this inflammatory response. The body reacts defensively, blood vessels constrict, and the follicle enters a stressed state. A stressed follicle produces thinner hair or stops producing hair altogether. There's also the issue of clogged follicles. Think of your scalp like soil. If the soil is compacted and covered with a thick layer of residue, nothing can grow properly. Many oils create a sealing effect. While this may make hair look shiny at first, it prevents proper cleansing and exfoliation of the scalp. Over time, follicles become trapped under layers of residue. When hair tries to grow through that blockage, it becomes weaker, more brittle, and more prone to falling out. What makes this especially concerning for women over 50 is that hair loss at this stage is often progressive. Once follicles shrink beyond a certain point, regrowth becomes much harder. This means that continuing to use the wrong products doesn't just slow progress, it may permanently damage follicle health. And the tragedy is that women are often doing this with the best intentions, thinking they're nourishing their hair when they're actually suffocating it. Another problem is that many hair oils lack the nutrients they claim to support growth. Some oils simply coat the hair shaft without penetrating the scalp. They provide cosmetic shine but no biological benefit. When follicles don't receive essential fatty acids, antioxidants, and circulation support, hair growth cannot improve. The illusion of improvement fades quickly, leaving women confused and discouraged. It's also important to understand that aging hair requires balance, not excess. Applying oil too frequently or leaving it on the scalp for long periods can disrupt the scalp's natural microbiome. The scalp has beneficial bacteria that protect against irritation and infection. Heavy oil use can disturb this balance, allowing yeast or harmful microbes to thrive. This can further weaken follicles and worsen hair shedding. What many women don't connect is that increased hair fall after oiling is not a coincidence. They often assume it's normal shedding or blame hormones alone. While hormones do play a role, external stressors like inappropriate oil use can accelerate the process significantly. When women stop using these oils, many are surprised to see shedding decrease within weeks. That's not magic, it's simply the scalp finally breathing again. The key takeaway here is not fear, but awareness. Oils are not inherently bad, but blind use as hair health after 50 demands a smarter approach. Lightweight, scalp-friendly oils used correctly can support circulation and nourishment. Heavy, occlusive oils used excessively can do the exact opposite. Understanding this difference can mean the difference between preserving your hair and slowly losing it without realizing why. Healthy hair does not come from coating the scalp, it comes from supporting the follicle. And once women understand that principle, they finally stop chasing miracles and start seeing real lasting improvement. As women move past the age of 50, changes occur throughout the body that are often subtle at first, but deeply impactful over time. One of the most overlooked areas affected by aging is the scalp. Most women focus on the hair itself, the strands they see in the mirror, but the true story of hair health begins beneath the surface. When the scalp changes, the hair follows, and after 50, those changes become far more significant than most people realize. Hormones play a central role in this shift. Estrogen, which supports hair growth, scalp hydration, and follicle strength, naturally declines with age. As estrogen levels drop, hair follicles spend less time in the growth phase and more time in the resting phase. This means hair grows more slowly, becomes finer, and sheds more easily. At the same time, the scalp produces less natural oil, leading to dryness, tightness, and increased sensitivity. Products that once felt soothing can suddenly become irritating, even if they're labeled natural. Circulation also changes with age. Blood flow to the scalp is responsible for delivering oxygen, amino acids, vitamins, and minerals to hair follicles. Over time, circulation can become less efficient due to reduced activity levels, vascular changes, and muscular tension in the neck and shoulders. When circulation slows, follicles receive fewer nutrients. Hair strands become thinner, weaker, and more prone to breakage. In this state, the scalp needs stimulation and nourishment, not heavy products that sit on the surface and block absorption. Another major change after 50 is the natural reduction in collagen. Collagen provides structure to the skin, including the scalp. As collagen levels decline, the scalp becomes less elastic and more fragile. This affects how securely hair follicles are anchored. A scalp that lacks elasticity cannot support strong, resilient hair growth. When heavy oils or irritating products are applied to an already fragile scalp, the risk of inflammation and follicle stress increases dramatically. The scalp's protective barrier also weakens with age. This barrier helps retain moisture and defend against environmental damage, bacteria, and irritation. When it becomes compromised, the scalp reacts more strongly to external substances. Oils that are too thick, too concentrated, or improperly formulated can overwhelm this weakened barrier. Instead of nourishing the scalp, they disrupt this natural balance, leading to redness, sensitivity, and increased shedding, even if the woman doesn't feel immediate discomfort. Many women over 50 also experience a change in their scalp's microbiome. Healthy bacteria help maintain scalp balance and protect follicles. Aging combined with product buildup and improper cleansing can alter this ecosystem. When the microbiome is disrupted, inflammation becomes more likely. Inflammation is one of the most damaging factors for hair follicles. It restricts blood flow, shortens the growth phase of hair, and accelerates thinning. Oils that contribute to buildup or trap debris on the scalp can quietly fuel this inflammatory process. Stress plays a powerful role as well. After 50, many women face life stressors that directly affect hair health, caregiving responsibilities, sleep disturbances, emotional strain, and metabolic changes. Stress hormones like cortisol interfere with hair growth and worsen scalp sensitivity. When a stressed scalp is exposed to heavy or irritating oils, the follicles are pushed further into survival mode. Instead of growing healthy hair, the body prioritizes energy elsewhere and hair becomes expendable. Another critical factor is slower cellular turnover. Younger scalps naturally shed dead skin cells efficiently. With age, this process slows down. Dead skin accumulates more easily, especially when mixed with oil. This creates a breeding ground for follicle blockage and irritation. Women often interpret dryness or flaking as a sign to add more oil, when in reality the scalp needs gentle exfoliation and improved circulation. Adding oil without addressing this buildup only worsens the problem. The structure of the hair itself also changes. Hair shafts become finer in diameter and more fragile. This means that any inflammation, tugging, or imbalance at the scalp level has a greater impact on visible hair loss. A single stress follicle can result in noticeably thinner hair over time. When many follicles are affected simultaneously, the change becomes impossible to ignore. What's important to understand is that these changes are not a failure of the body. They're a natural transition, but they demand a different approach. The scalp after 50 requires gentleness, precision, and respect. Products must support circulation, reduce inflammation, and enhance the scalp's natural defenses. Heavy, occlusive, or overly stimulating oils simply don't align with these needs. When women recognize that their scalp is no longer the same as it once was, everything changes. They stop blaming themselves. They stop chasing aggressive treatments, and they start working with their biology instead of against it. This awareness alone can dramatically slow hair loss and preserve what they already have. Hair health after 50 is not about forcing growth. It's about creating the right environment. A calm scalp, good blood flow, proper nourishment, and minimal irritation allow follicles to do what they're designed to do. When women understand how sensitive the aging scalp truly is, they can finally make choices that protect their hair instead of unknowingly harming it. One of the most common mistakes women make when it comes to hair care after 50 is assuming that if a little is good, more must be better. This mindset is completely understandable. When hair begins to thin or shed, the instinct is to do something: apply more oil, massage longer, leave treatments on overnight, repeat the routine more often. Unfortunately, this well-intentioned approach often backfires. With the aging scalp, overuse and improper application can quietly become the very reasons hair loss accelerates. As we get older, the scalp loses its ability to regulate itself the way it once did. Natural oil production declines, cellular turnover slows, and the scalp becomes more reactive. This means it no longer tolerates excess very well. When oils are applied too frequently, they accumulate instead of absorbing. Even oils that are considered beneficial can overwhelm the scalp when used daily or in large amounts. What begins as nourishment quickly turns into congestion. Improper application is another overlooked factor. Many women massage oil aggressively into the scalp, believing that harder massage equals better circulation. In reality, excessive pressure can irritate delicate follicles and strain the tiny blood vessels that supply them. The scalp after 50 is thinner and less elastic. Rough handling, combined with oil buildup, can create microinflammation that weakens follicle attachment. Hair that is already fragile becomes easier to dislodge, leading to increased shedding during washing or brushing. Leaving oils on the scalp for extended periods is another common issue. Overnight oil treatments are often promoted as deeply nourishing, but for many women over 50, they do more harm than good. Prolonged exposure can trap heat, sweat, and bacteria against the scalp. This creates an environment that encourages inflammation and microbial imbalance. The follicle, instead of resting and repairing, remains under constant stress. Over time, this stress shortens the hair growth cycle and promotes thinning. Dilution is also critical, yet frequently ignored. Essential oils, in particular, are highly concentrated. When applied directly to the scalp without a carrier oil, they can cause irritation even if no immediate burning is felt. Subtle irritation accumulates over time. The scalp may feel slightly tight, slightly sensitive, or slightly itchy. These small signals are often dismissed, but they indicate follicle distress. A distressed follicle does not produce strong hair. Timing matters as well. Applying oils to a scalp that has not been properly cleansed can seal in dirt and dead skin cells. This blocks follicles and interferes with nutrient delivery. Many women believe oiling before washing is always beneficial, but if buildup is already present, oiling simply compounds the problem. The scalp becomes coated rather than nourished. Hair growth slows and shedding increases. Another issue is mismatching oil type to scalp condition. Fine hair, thinning hair, and hormonally sensitive scalps require lighter formulations. Using heavy oils on a scalp that cannot handle them creates imbalance. The scalp may respond by increasing shedding as a protective mechanism. This response is often mistaken for normal hair fall, but is actually a reaction to stress at the follicle level. Frequency plays a major role. Oiling the scalp several times a week may be too much for many women over 50. The scalp needs time to breathe, reset, and regulate itself. Constant application interferes with this process. Instead of supporting natural function, it replaces it. Over time, follicles become dependent on external products and lose resilience. Many women also forget that hair loss is not always immediate. The damage caused by overuse or improper application may not appear for weeks or even months. Hair follicles operate on cycles. What you do today affects what you see later. This delayed response makes it difficult to connect hair loss with product misuse. Women continue routines that quietly worsen the problem, unaware of the true cause. What's most important to understand is that gentle consistency beats aggressive treatment every time. The scalp responds best to moderation, proper dilution, and thoughtful timing. A few drops applied correctly can be far more effective than heavy saturation. Light massage encourages circulation without irritation. Short exposure allows nourishment without buildup. These small adjustments can dramatically change outcomes. Hair care after 50 is no longer about intensity, it's about intelligence. The scalp communicates constantly, but many women have never been taught how to listen. Increased shedding, sensitivity, or tightness are not signs to do more. They are signs to do less and do it better. When women respect these signals, follicles stabilize, inflammation decreases, and hair loss often slows naturally. Understanding that overuse and improper application can sabotage even the best products is empowering. It shifts the focus from desperation to awareness. Once women learn that the scalp thrives on balance, not excess, they stop fighting their biology and start working with it. And that is when real lasting improvement becomes possible. When it comes to preserving hair health after the age of 50, the most important shift women can make is moving away from quick fixes and towards smart, supportive habits. Hair does not thrive under force or desperation. It thrives in an environment where the scalp is calm, nourished, and well circulated. This is where choosing the right alternatives makes all the difference. Healthy hair is not about eliminating oils altogether. It's about selecting the ones that work with your body instead of against it and supporting them with the right daily practices. Lightweight oils are one of the most effective tools for aging scalps because they absorb rather than suffocate. Oils such as argan, grapeseed, and jojoba closely resemble the scalp's natural sebum. This allows them to penetrate gently, delivering nutrients without clogging follicles. These oils provide antioxidants, essential fatty acids, and vitamin support while allowing the scalp to breathe. When applied in small amounts, they help soften the scalp, reduce dryness, and support follicle health without triggering inflammation or buildup. Proper application is just as important as oil selection. Few drops warm between the fingers and gently pressed into the scalp can stimulate circulation without irritation. Gentle massage encourages blood flow, bringing oxygen and nutrients to the follicles. This increased circulation supports the growth phase of hair and helps counteract age-related slowing of blood supply. The key is light, mindful touch, not pressure. The scalp responds to kindness, not force. Equally important is timing. Applying lightweight oils to a clean scalp allows nutrients to reach the follicles directly. This is why post-wash or lightly damp scalp application often works best. Short contact time is usually enough. Oils don't need to sit for hours to be effective. In many cases, 20 to 30 minutes is sufficient. Longer exposure can be unnecessary and may increase the risk of buildup. The goal is nourishment, not saturation. Beyond oils, internal nutrition plays a powerful role in hair health after 50. Hair is a reflection of what's happening inside the body. Protein intake becomes increasingly important because hair is made primarily of keratin. Without adequate protein, the body prioritizes vital organs and hair growth slows. Collagen, which declines with age, supports the structure of the scalp and follicles. Supplementing with collagen or consuming collagen-rich foods can help improve scalp elasticity and hair strength over time. Biotin is another essential nutrient for hair growth, but it works best when combined with other B vitamins. Iron, zinc, and vitamin D also play critical roles. Deficiencies in any of these can contribute to hair thinning and shedding. Omega-3 fatty acids are particularly important because they reduce inflammation and support scalp hydration from within. A nourished scalp is far more resilient and capable of sustaining healthy hair growth. Hydration is often overlooked, yet it directly affects scalp health. Dehydration reduces blood volume and circulation, limiting nutrient delivery to follicles. Drinking adequate water supports overall cellular function, including the cells responsible for hair production. When the body is hydrated, the scalp remains more flexible, less inflamed, and better able to support strong hair. Stress management is another powerful alternative that many women underestimate. Chronic stress raises cortisol levels, which interfere with hair growth and increase shedding. Gentle practices such as deep breathing, walking, stretching, or meditation help calm the nervous system. A calm nervous system supports hormonal balance, circulation, and cellular repair, all of which benefit hair follicles. Hair loss is often the body's response to internal stress, not just external products. Scalp hygiene also plays a crucial role. Gentle cleansing removes buildup without stripping natural oils. Harsh shampoos can damage the scalp barrier, while insufficient cleansing allows residue to accumulate. Finding the right balance keeps follicles open and functional. Occasional gentle exfoliation can help remove dead skin cells and improve circulation, allowing follicles to function more efficiently. Consistency is what ties everything together. Healthy hair does not return overnight, especially after 50. Follicles need time to recover, stabilize, and re-enter the growth phase. When women commit to lightweight oils, proper nutrition, gentle scalp care, and stress reduction, they often notice less shedding first. Over time, hair texture improves, breakage decreases, and density begins to stabilize. These changes may be gradual, but they are real and lasting. What's most empowering about this approach is that it puts control back in the hands of the woman. Instead of relying on harsh treatments or chasing unrealistic promises, she supports her body's natural ability to maintain hair. This creates confidence, patience, and trust in the process. Hair health becomes part of overall wellness, not a separate battle. Healthy hair after 50 is absolutely possible. It simply requires the right tools, the right mindset, and respect for how the body changes with age. When women choose lightweight, supportive alternatives and nourish themselves from the inside out, they create the ideal environment for hair to thrive naturally. And that environment, not force, not excess, is the true foundation of lasting hair health.